Hello, everyone. I'm Jamie. If we're meeting for the first time, I am the owner and director of Yoga Athletics, a yoga and fitness studio located in the Beaches. And I'm here with you today as part of your Blue Monday lineup, offering a yoga practice with an emphasis on desk relief. So we're going to focus on the shoulders, the heart, chest opening. We're going to focus on the hips, giving some low back relief, as well as some mindfulness practices that you can use throughout your day, throughout the month, whenever you feel you need. So for today's practice, I have a blanket. If you've got a blanket, you might take advantage of that, but don't worry if you don't. And I have my blanket folded as we are going to start in a comfortable seat. I will loosely suggest sitting with the legs crossed, but if that's not comfortable, you can always sit on the knees or even up in a chair. And I have my sits bones elevated on the blanket to help create a little pelvic tilt, which relaxes the hips a little bit so the shape isn't so intense. So if you want to find yourself in any comfortable seat, soften the shoulders, soften your gaze, take your eyes to one point in front of you, and just use this opportunity to land in the space that you've carved out for yourself today. Breathing in through the nose, sighing out the mouth. Let's do that again. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Moving into a practice known as alternate nostril breathing to calm the body and the mind. Placing your right thumb on your right nostril, your right index and middle finger on the space between your eyebrows or your third eye, and your right ring finger on your left nostril. Take a moment to breathe in and breathe out. And then press into your thumb, plugging your right nostril. Inhale through the left. Pausing, holding the breath, plug the left nostril, release your thumb and exhale out the right. Inhale through the right. Pause to plug the right. Exhale out the left. Inhale left. Pause to plug the left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Plug right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Plug left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Plug right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Plug left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Plug right. Exhale left. 2 breaths left here. Breathing in left. Plug left. Exhale right. Breathe in right. Plug right. Exhale left. Release the breath. Back to breathing naturally, and just take a moment to notice how you feel. This breath practice helps to calm the nervous system, each side of our brain corresponding to the opposite side of the body. The breath practice balances us out, gives us a sense of equilibrium. And I like to use it to create focus before practice. You can start to roll the shoulders up, back, and down. For the remainder of our time today, we'll be breathing in and out the nose with a little constriction in the back of the throat. So as the breath travels in, you'll feel it move in the nose and down the throat. And as you exhale, sending that breath up the throat and out the nose. And see if you can create a little ocean sound or whisper. Some know it as the Darth Vader breath. Switch the circle of the shoulders. This is a Ujjayi or yogic breath that we'll work with today. You might emphasize lengthening your exhales to keep the body and the mind relaxed. Breathing in. And breathing out. Release your right ear down towards your right shoulder, bringing a stretch into the left side of the neck. You might see how it feels to extend that left arm and even turn your palm up towards the ceiling. The level that your arm is at in space will have influence on what you're feeling. So playing with the relationship between the elevation and orientation of your arm to find a therapeutic stretch through the left side of the neck for you today. Inhale. Exhale. Take one more inhale. And as you breathe out, allow your chin to fall a little closer to your right shoulder. Breathing in, ear to right shoulder. Breathing out, chin to right shoulder. One more time. Inhale, shift your eyes forward, lift your arms all the way up overhead. And as you exhale, take a gentle twist to the right. Your left hand can find the outside of your right leg, and your right hand can find the ground or whatever prop might be beneath you and behind you. Sitting up taller as you breathe in, and finding a deeper twist as you exhale. Sit up tall, breathing in. If it's available in your neck, shift your focus out over your right shoulder. Exhale. Mindfully unravel the twist, lifting the arms up overhead once more, breathing in. And as you exhale, you'll take a side bend over to the left, bringing stretch into the entire right side of the body. Keep some weight into the left hand so that you can stay anchored through your right hip. See if you can get a little longer through the right arm. Inhale. And exhale. Now you're welcome to stay right here or add in some movement with me. As you breathe in, open your chest, bending your right elbow, shifting your focus towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, reach that right arm past your left knee, rounding through the spine. Inhale, open the chest, lift your gaze, bend the right elbow. Exhale, dive past the left knee. One more time, breathing in. Exhale, reach and hold. Allow yourself to come into a forward fold, reaching both arms past your left knee, staying heavy through the right hip, and just noticing where you're experiencing sensation, maybe somewhere through the right side of the body or into your low back, maybe somewhere in the hips. Offer some breath there. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly walk your hands to center. You can keep your hands supported by the ground, or if you've got more flexibility in the hips, you might lower to your forearms. It's safe to have the spine rounding here, your chin falling into your chest, the weight of your head being heavy, as long as you're not forcing yourself forward past your edge. So letting the body meet its appropriate edge and just supporting that with your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Walk the hands in towards the legs and slowly roll up to sit tall. Breathe in. Take your hands behind you, uncross your legs, and allow the knees to windshield wipe side to side. Exhale. You might press into the hands and lift through the chest. Lift your gaze, breathing in. And bringing lots of movement into the hips as you breathe out. Swapping the ankle cross. So now you have left in front of right. And coming right back into the next stretch. Now it will be left ear falling towards left shoulder. We're bringing a stretch into the right side of the neck. And as a reminder, you might see how it feels to reach the right arm down and away. You might turn your right palm open towards the ceiling or pause anywhere in between. Could rotate the right shoulder joint. You could elevate that right arm. If you find a spot that feels particularly therapeutic, be still there. Enjoy a breath. Everybody breathing in. Allow your chin to fall towards your left shoulder. Exhale. Inhale, left ear, left shoulder. Exhale, chin to left shoulder. One more time, breathing in, left ear, left shoulder. Exhaling, chin to left shoulder. Come all the way up, looking forward as you lift your arms, breathing in. Taking a twist towards the left with your exhale, right hand comes to the outside of the left leg and the left hand can find something behind you. Think of your left arm as being like a second spine, reminding you to sit up really tall with your inhale. And then twist around that long column as you exhale. Open your chest to the left, maybe take your gaze back to the left shoulder, breathing in. Breathing out. Gently unravel. Lift the arms up overhead. Breathe in. And take a side bend to the right as you exhale, emphasizing that left side body stretch. Put as much or as little weight into the right hand as feels good in the left side. Staying heavy through that left hip. Energize the left arm, breathing in and breathing out. Now remember, you can stay here if this is feeling good, or you can add in some movement as you inhale. You'll open your chest, peel that left shoulder back, bending at the left elbow. And as you exhale, reach the left arm past the right knee. Inhale to open. Exhale to dive forward, reaching past the right knee. One more time, inhale. Exhale, reaching as long as you can on that diagonal and allowing yourself to forward fold, as though you were going to kiss the right knee without letting the left hip lift. Let the shoulders soften, let your head be heavy. Relax the muscles of your jaw, letting your tongue fall from the roof of your mouth. Breathing in and breathing out. Slowly walk your hands through center. And just take a moment to pause here, noticing how this feels in your hips, along the spine, up into your neck and elsewhere. One more breath in and breath out. We'll slowly come up to sitting tall. Inhale. Meeting on hands and knees in a tabletop position as you exhale. Now, if you're someone who has sensitive knees or maybe the surface beneath you is quite hard, this is a great opportunity to unfold your blanket and allow your knees to be supported by your blanket. In your tabletop, your shoulders are stacked on top of your wrists and your hips are stacked on top of the knees. As you breathe in, you can let your belly drop. Lift your tail, lift your chin, and really exaggerate the curve in your spine. This is a spinal extension, a stretch through the front side of the torso. And as you exhale, we'll reverse that curve by pushing into the hands, taking our high cat, a spinal flexion, rounding in the spine, looking back to the belly. Breathing in, envision your heart space pulling through the window that is your arms. Breathing out, pressing the hands down, separating the shoulder blades as you round through your back. One more time, inhale, cow pose. Exhale, high cat. Return to neutral. So your shoulders on your wrists, your hips on your knees, a gentle engagement in the low belly so the belly's not dipping, and length through the neck as the crown of the head reaches forwards. Meet your right fingers with your right temple, and as you inhale, open your chest to the right. It might feel a little bit limited, and that's okay. As you exhale, turn left. See if you can tap the inner left elbow with the right. Inhale, open your chest right. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, opening to the right. Exhale, twisting to the left. Inhale, open to the right. Free that right arm. Lift your arm all the way up, fingertips to ceiling. And as you exhale, we'll find threading the needle. This right arm is going to dive through the window you've created between your left arm and your left leg. Your right palm will face the ceiling and you'll reach as far as you can towards the left before allowing yourself to come down onto the right ear and the right shoulder. Your hips stay high. You're looking to feel weight through the back side of that right shoulder. And it might feel good to put a bit of pressure in the left hand. Other alternatives, left arm can reach forwards past the top edge of your mat. Your left hand could take the small of your low back or tuck right into your right inner thigh crease. These are all options. One is not better than any other. So choose the one that feels good for you. Take one more inhale and exhale. Return your left palm next to your gaze. Push into that left hand to free the right arm. Open the chest once more. Look up. It might feel a little different, but maybe not. And as you exhale, take hands and knees, tabletop. Adjust to align shoulders on wrists and hips on knees. Reaching your right leg out behind you. Flex that right foot and dial all 5 right toes down to the mat, feeling a slight internal rotation from your hip. Outer thigh drops, inner thigh lifts. Core engagement, lower belly lifted, neck still long, crown reaching forward. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, cross the right leg past the midline over to the left and allow your right toes to come down there. Take a deep breath in. Turn to look over your left shoulder as you exhale, lengthening through that right side body once more. The right heel is lifting, stacking over the big toe as you breathe in and breathe out. Return the torso as you breathe in and tuck this right knee in behind your left as you exhale. You might need to make some adjustments to accommodate that, but think about sitting cross-legged in a seat with your left thigh over your right. Take the feet as wide as you can manage and press into your hands to send the hips back. Now, you might not go very far, but you could bring your hips all the way to the ground behind you. It's totally up to you and how this feels in your hips. I'd like your hands to stay anchored and just come to a place that offers some sensation in the hips that you're able to breathe through. We'll be here for 3. You relax the shoulders, the head, neck, and jaw for 2. Send that last breath right down into the hips. And then slowly return to your hands and your knees, uncrossing the legs and positioning your knees directly under your hips and your shoulders under your wrists. Scoop the lower belly in and up, lengthen through the neck and reach your left leg, I lied, your left fingers to your left temple. As you inhale, open your chest towards the left. As you exhale, take your twist to the right. Tap inner right elbow with left. Inhale, opening left. Exhale, twisting right. Carry on, moving with your breath, mobilizing our thoracic spine, that area that tends to be rounded, especially when we sit at a desk all day. As you inhale, free the left arm, lift those left fingers, and as you exhale, dive into your threading the needle, left arm through the space you've made between right arm and right leg. Keep the hips high as you land heavily on the back of the left shoulder and left ear. Choose what you'd like to do with your right hand. Put a bit of weight into the right hand and see how that feels through the left side. Maybe reach the right arm forwards. Maybe take your right hand to your low back or tuck your right fingers into your left inner thigh. Enjoy another breath in and breath out. Right hand comes back next to you. Use the leverage from right hand to free the left arm. Inhale, open to the left. Look up as you reach up and exhale back to your hands and knees. Stretching the left leg out behind you now. Feeling activation through the belly, length through the neck. Flex the left foot, dialing baby toe down, inner thigh up. All 5 toes point to your mat. Take a deep breath in. And cross this left leg over to the right, allowing your left toes to make contact with the ground as you breathe out. Invite more length into the neck as you breathe in. And then turn to look over the right shoulder. Exhale. Looking towards the left heel and lifting your left heel so it stacks right over the left big toe. Noticing how that feels through the outside of the left leg, hip, and the entire left side of the torso. Breathing in. And breathing out. Return to center, inviting left knee to tuck in behind the right. You might need to adjust the space of your legs, widen your feet, and then with your hands, press your hips back. And that might be just an inch. That might be all the way back onto the mat. But I ask that you keep your hands anchored and use the hands to negotiate the space you're creating in your hips. Relax the shoulders, the neck, and the jaw. And again, take those 3 deep breaths right down into your hips. When you've completed your 3rd exhale, absolutely no need to rush. Return to your hands and your knees and flip your palms over to give the wrists a little release. Pressing the backs of your hands in towards the ground. You might work to extend the arms, and if that feels manageable, you might pull the hips back a couple of inches. Breathing in and breathing out. Sitting your hips right back onto your heels, peel the backs of the hands away from the ground and give the wrists a good shake. Inhale. Exhale. Coming up to tall kneeling, stack shoulders on hips, on knees. Left foot is going to step forwards and the hips are going to draw forwards. Now, if you find that your left knee goes further than your left ankle, you might decide to move your blanket and your right knee back in space so that your left knee can stack on your left ankle while inviting maximum stretch into the front of that right hip. Options for the hands here, down, framing the left foot, or lifting and stacking on the left thigh. Actively wrap outer left hip back, right hip forwards. And see if you can feel what's going on in the front of the right hip. That's your hip flexor area. The main muscle we're targeting right now is our psoas. And this can get really, really, really tight, especially when we sit at a desk for several hours. Relax the shoulders. Focus on one point in front of you and take another breath. Now, if this is feeling like enough, please stay as you are. If you're looking to layer on some more sensation, you can invite your arms overhead, breathing in. And for even further than that, you can catch your right wrist with your left hand and start to side bend over to the left as you exhale. Doing your best to keep wrapping out our left hip back, right hip forwards, scissoring the inner thighs to protect the low back. Inhale. Exhale. We'll return to center, breathing in. Let the hands come down and use the hands for help to bring the left knee back to the right as you exhale. A brief child's pose, folding over the legs. I have my knees together, but your child's pose might look a little different with the knees wide. Both are great options. Knees together supports the low back. Knees wide offers some more opening in the hips. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Press into your hands and slowly lift your chest. Return your knees to hips distance and find your tall kneeling shape, breathing in. Now it's the right foot that steps forward into that low lunge or Anjaneyasana position. Let the hips come forward to any amount that offers a good stretch to the front of the left hip. A reminder, if this right knee has moved forward far past the right ankle, you might want to wiggle your left knee back. Outer right hip is hugging back, left hip forward, that scissoring inner thigh action, giving us space in the low back. Hands up on the right thigh next to the right foot, or invited to lift all the way up overhead. And taking the side bend if you're looking for more. Catch left wrist with right hand, take a deep breath in. And find a side bend over to the right as you exhale. Wherever you're at in your lunge, one more breath in. And breath out. We'll come back to center, breathing in. Lower the hands and send your hips back to one more child's pose, knees together or knees wide. Let your forehead rest on something and slow down your breath. Next pose we're coming to today will have us on our bellies. So as you inhale, you can grip your mat with your fingers and just draw the torso forwards. If you'd like to keep your blanket supporting you, you might put it right underneath where those front hip bones point out. You might decide you want to get rid of the blanket altogether. Completely up to you. Find yourself on your belly with your forearms planted and your elbows directly underneath your shoulders. We're coming into Sphinx pose, creating a little bit of activation through the mid-upper back. Now, if you suffer from any low back tension or tightness, I'm going to encourage you to keep your legs quite wide. Traditionally, this pose is practiced with big toes together for a healthy compression of the low back, but if that's uncomfortable, again, legs could be as wide as feels good. Press down into your forearms. Envision your elbows coming back towards your hips, and just like our cow pose, you're reaching your heart through the window that you've created between your arms. From a bird's eye view, your forearms are in the number 11. And from a side view, you should see the letter L with shoulders above elbows. Reaching heart forwards and just lifting your gaze enough that your spine follows that curve from low through mid to upper back. You might start to feel some heat around the shoulder blades. Pressing down and back with the forearms. Breathing here. This pose is great for activation of our postural muscles, the muscles that will help you to sit upright all day long. Breathing in. Breathing out. One more breath. To release, you can splay your elbows wide, stack your palms and allow your forehead to come right down onto your hands. You might sway your hips a little bit side to side or bend into your knees and allow the entire lower leg to windshield wipe right and left. Releasing to the low back, breathing in and breathing out. Extending the legs long once again. Reaching your right arm directly out beside you, your palm will face the ground and your elbow, wrist, and shoulder are all in one straight line. Turning to look left, rest your right ear on your mat and use your left hand as leverage to slowly roll onto the right side of the body. What you do with this left leg doesn't really matter. It can go straight, it could bend and plant. You're looking for a stretch through the front of the right shoulder and the right side of the chest. And if that is not enough to feel that, you could cactus your right elbow. So elbow stays in line with shoulder, but your fingers reach up towards the top of your mat. Same shape, rolling to the right. Putting as much or as little weight in the left hand as feels good. We'll be here for 3. 2. 1 more breath. Slowly roll through center and find that same position known as open wing on the other side. So left arm reaches long, or maybe you cactus your elbow. Left ear comes right down to the mat, and the right hand helps you roll to the left side. Maybe a little, maybe a lot. Breathing to wherever you're feeling this, ideally somewhere the front of the left shoulder or left side of the chest. Inhale. Exhale. 2 deeper breaths. And you've completed that breath. You can roll back onto your belly. Turn to look left. Take the right arm all the way overhead and flip yourself over onto your back. You might need to scoot yourself over so that you're centered on your mat again. Now the blanket might still be supporting the hips, or maybe you've chosen to get rid of it. Both options are fine. Let's bend the knees and slide the heels close enough that you can almost feel your heels with your middle fingers. We're moving into a pose known as bridge. Pressing into the feet, lifting the hips up, sending the knees forwards over the center toes, using the strength of your back to bring space through the entire front of the body, through our core, through the fronts of the hips. You might even feel that into your quadriceps. You could stay right here or wiggle the shoulder blades closer together, interlace your fingers beneath you, and press into the baby finger side of your hand. Lift up through the hips, press forward with your knees. Feel heavy through the back of the head and the shoulder blades. Inhale. Exhale, slowly lower down. Walking your feet to about mat's width and just allowing your knees to knock together. Your hands can rest beside you, or you can place your hands on your belly or your chest. With the feet wide and the knees together, we're internally rotating at both hip joints. A really nice way to bring space in and around the low back. Take a few deeper breaths. With your next inhale, you can heel toe your feet back to hips distance. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh, flexing your right toes back towards your right knee as you wing the right knee wide. Now this positioning, this figure 4 or threading the needle stretch for the legs might already be offering some stretch through the outer right hip, so you can stay exactly as you are, a great place to be. For something a little deeper, you can use the right hand to gently press the inner right thigh away. And for the full version of the pose, you could reach your right arm through the window you've made between your legs, Bring the left knee in towards the chest and catch the back of the left leg, your left hamstrings, or the front of the left leg, the left shin. Now I ask you to be mindful about your upper body. You want the back of the head and the shoulders to stay grounded, trying not to feel any unnecessary tension through the neck. And you're staying equally long on both sides of the torso, from your shoulders right down towards your hips. And breathing into that outer right hip, particularly our piriformis that lives there. And when this muscle is really tight, which can happen from overuse as well as underuse, so from sitting a lot, it can wreak havoc on the low back. And the pain can be misdiagnosed as sciatica. So this is a really great one that can also be done in a chair at any point in your day. Let's take one more breath. If you're holding the left leg, let that grip go. Slide the right thigh all the way over the left. So once again, you have that seated in a chair, cross legs position happening. Push into the left foot to shift your hips over to the right a couple of inches, coming onto the outer left hip. And then as you breathe in, you can guide the knees in towards the chest, the arms into a nice wide T. And with your exhale, let the knees fall to the left, laying spinal twist. Left hand could rest on the outside of the right leg. And you're welcome to turn and look right if that feels okay in your neck. Now, if this right shoulder is wanting to lift very high, or this is just feeling too intense for you today, please uncross your legs and simply stack the knees. That's a great option. Our laying twists done towards the end of our yoga practice are done to promote relaxation and activation of the parasympathetic nervous system, helping to slow down the heart rate in preparation for rest. Take another breath in and breath out. Returning the knees back to the ceiling, planting the feet and uncrossing the legs if they're twist tied, shifting the hips back to the center of the mat. Coming into your threading the needle variation on the left side, crossing left ankle above right thigh, and winging that left knee wide, flexing your left toes back in the direction of your left knee. Staying as you are, placing left hand against the inside of the left leg or reaching through to find a connection behind or in front of the right leg. Noticing how the left side is feeling in comparison to the right today, without layering on any meaning or judgment as to why that is. Simply acknowledge. Let the thoughts pass and return to your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Go ahead and release. Let the right foot come down to the mat. Cross the left leg all the way over the right. Push into the right foot to shift the hips left. You're coming onto the outer right hip before inviting the knees into the chest and down to the right for your laying twist. Right hand can meet outer left leg. You can turn and look left if that feels okay in your neck. And as a reminder, uncrossing the legs and just allowing the knees to stack. This is a more simple, less intense version of our twist. A few breaths here. We'll slowly bring the knees through center. As you inhale and exhale the hips back to center. And take a moment to think about a position that would be comfortable to give yourself 1 minute of rest before you transition back into your day. You might extend the legs long and take a classic Shavasana. You might prefer a seated shape or return to your belly. Letting that breath practice in and out the nose release. Coming back to breathing naturally. And for just 1 minute, giving yourself the permission to stay with body, breath, not worrying about what comes next. One of my favorite meditation or relaxation techniques is to label the breath as it comes in and out. Labeling the inhale with the number 1, and the exhale with the number 2. We're not forcing the breath, just counting the inhales and exhales as they enter and exit. Working up to 10 and then back down to 1. If you notice yourself getting lost anywhere in the middle, you might just start fresh. Now, if you have the time, I invite you to stay in your rest for longer. Enjoy your relaxation, your meditation. And when you are ready to transition into your day, move slowly. It's been an absolute honor to guide you. Thank you so much for coming to your mat. Namaste.